All right. This is Jeff Townsend, and I'm with Bill DeMott. We are here live for yet another journey, another experience of the Bill DeMott Experience. Bill, how are you doing? We've got about 300 people listening right now live that I can see, at least across all. We're on eight different platforms right now, Bill.
8 platforms, over 300 people. Hello to each and every one of you. I hope every one of them hits us with a question tonight.
Absolutely.
That's exciting, dude. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you,
everybody. Hope everybody had a good holiday. Did you have a good holiday, Bill?
Yes, we had a good holiday.
Sweet.
You know why we had a good holiday?
Because you live in a mansion?
We live in a mansion, and everybody in the mansion fell ill. The best part about it was we all had to spend time together.
That's one way to force it, man, to spend time together. Everybody gets sick on Christmas, gets New Year's.
I had to admit to them all that I put my secret cough into all their drinking glasses to get them sick to spend time with them, but they forgave me, and my New Year's resolution was I wouldn't do that anymore.
You're saying it was you? It was you all along?
Yeah, I'm going to say it was me.
That is very shady of you, but I understand. You got to do what you got to do to spend time with your family.
I'll make it work, man. I'll make it work. How was your Christmas and New Year's and everything? Everybody,
it was good. It was good, man. It was kind of chill and laid back. So I mean, that's always good. We'd go to 15 places. It felt like, and it was way too much, man. So for me, I'm all about just taking it easy on the holidays. Yeah. And I had a vacation for a couple weeks, so I made it work, dude.
Nice. Yeah, that's what we did. We just, the holidays, we lay low, enjoy each other's company, and it's like a good vacation, right? After about the first 4 days, everybody gets sick of each other and ready to go back to work. But yeah, really good, and I hope everybody had a good New Year, and it's starting off well for everyone. And I'm excited, man. We're in 2024, and the experience is growing.
The experience is growing. It's growing everywhere. A lot of new people joining us on YouTube. I think we're literally live, basically everywhere, man. So
I love it.
Trying to catch up with all the comments. I'm not ignoring you. Feel free to chime in. We actually get comments straight on the screen from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. I think the gap might be like TikTok and Instagram. Even though we're streaming right now on Instagram and TikTok, those are things I have to manually check. So if I'm a little slow to react to you, that's why. You got a Chris Young saying hey to you, Bill.
What up, Chris Young?
That's just a cool name, Chris Young. So, Bill, man.
It's a wrestling.
They're talking about all day how there's going to be this big special on Peacock like an hour ago, and it's going to be like a big announcement on it, and it was just a 2024 look ahead, basically. So I watched it here. I'm like, I'm going to watch it just in case something crazy happens. Like, they act like there's going to be a big announcement. The dirt sheets were saying, like, they may announce that TNA is having a partnership with WWE, vice versa, however you want to word it, But really nothing came out of it. It was just this is what's ahead this year, and this is why we're excited about it. And they interviewed, a couple different people.
You fell for the big Tony Khan huge announcement tonight thing?
Huge. I fell for the huge announcement tonight, man. I fell so hard.
Huge announcement.
And I feel like a fool, to be honest with you. But
I didn't. I'm gonna go the opposite and say I didn't fall for it, and I did not tune in, and it seems like I didn't miss anything.
Bill, we'll go ahead and kick things off here. We got a lot of people listening. You sent out a cryptic tweet earlier in the week that everybody is asking about all over social media here. And let me just start it off with the Elite Cronies on Twitter.
Our
thought that it was and I think it was joking 100%, but they thought that was your way of trying to tease that you were the devil on AEW.
Oh no. I would never tease that I was the devil. That's been an accusation for a lot of years. So if it hasn't come true by now, it'll never come true. But no, that's not the cryptic. It wasn't. I guess it's called cryptic.
It's called cryptic. I think it can be interpreted as that when you don't elaborate on anything.
Well, let me say this. On this episode of the Bill DeMott Experience, I'm still not going to elaborate on it. And and you know why? Because the Elite Cronies tried to call me the devil.
So you're going to blame the Elite Cronies?
Yeah, I'm going to blame them for the delay on this possible cryptic message.
Man, how dare you blame the Elite Cronies?
I'm really good at stringing things out too, so this could be a thing. And then all of a sudden it's not a thing, and you went, how come you didn't tell me? And I said, well, the Elite Cronies kind of messed it up.
When are we going to be able to hear? Okay, so just those listening, I don't want to misquote your tweet. Gosh, let me find it here. I don't want to be that guy misquoting.
Something along the lines of me being approached to possibly getting back into something with wrestling.
Yeah, that summarizes it pretty well.
Yeah.
You phrased it a little bit more mysteriously, I guess. But yeah, that's what you did. Yeah. So is this not the day where we're going to hear anything?
No, today's not the day.
Then why did you have to tweet it out, Bill?
It could have been the day, but the elite cronies beat me to it. So now, no, not the day.
You're no fun. So yeah.
This is it. Why I'm having internally, I'm laughing hysterically because I know you want to know.
I thought the idea of you being the devil was actually pretty funny.
Holy cow, that would have been great. I'd never even thought about that.
I don't know what I would have done.
You would have.
So if you're not going to elaborate on it, I guess we're going to move on. So you tell me when and where.
I will say this, Jeff, you will be the first to know. That's where I'll leave it.
Okay. So more to come on Bill's cryptic tease. I'm going to say tease because I don't know how else to word it. It was a tease. Let's talk some wrestling tonight, dude.
I've got a million different things to talk about. You lead me.
I know that you watched last night up till 5 a.m. the Japanese pay-per-view.
Absolutely not.
You didn't watch Wrestling King? Man,
no,
you missed out. Actually, I haven't got to catch up on all of it yet. But let's start off with the big. I guess there's been a lot of things said this week. But let's just start off with showing a clip, and we'll just kind of go like there like we usually do.
Cool.
Those of you listening, yeah, thanks for following along live. Like, comment, share. Yeah, if you comment, we'll interact with you. And we're about to kick things off here with the first thing we're going to talk about tonight. And why not talk about this devil segment? We'll show you what came out of it here.
Somebody's got to stop this.
Yeah, someone, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you son of a bitch! Why don't you hit me? I don't know. Shit, I don't know. You hit me! Hit me! Do not hit him! Don't! No!
Destroy this. What the hell are we witnessing here?
Let me ask you this. What was the payoff? Because it was an interesting way they approached it. They just had MJF get beat, I guess you could say, clean by Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
So it's not like, gotcha, buddy. We took the title from you and we beat you up. And we were your friends and we screwed you over all along. Just kind of after the match, there was the reveal. How did you think about the approach to it? And what did you think about the reveal itself?
I'm going to give you my famous meh. Such a buildup. I mean, this was one of the times that you and I have discussed this on many episodes, and wrestling reporters and interviewers and commentators across the board have talked about this is probably one of the, if not the best storylines that has happened. MJF, Adam Cole, right, leads into the devil, and all this buildup. Again, I'm going to start with it's not a reflection on a talent, but for it to be revealed that it's Adam Cole was very lackluster to me. And the thing that hurt it more for me, the follow-up was, starting off the show with that promo segment, One, I look at Wardlow and go, well, they had nothing to do with him, so now they put him into this group.
Hey, let me ask you this. I'm going to switch over to a different screen here. Is this what you're expecting or something?
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Yes, that's what I was expecting. Something that would just blow your socks off. You know what I mean? Something that would make you go, this is really going to build. To me, it didn't do anything for Joe because Joe just became a champion and he left.
But would it have helped Joe if they helped him win?
I don't know. See, right? So now the creative mind goes and, well, then you're tying Joe directly into them, and is he part of this? Again, the whole thing very anticlimactic thing, and now you call him the Undisputed, right? But it's the Undisputed Kingdom. So the word Undisputed comes out, and they just have the crowns on each side. I just feel like there was so much of a buildup that it was a letdown.
Were you happy to see Wardlow?
Well, I wasn't happy to see Wardlow because there's no tie-in. This guy's one of the biggest cats on the roster, and every 3 months they have him in something else. It's very Van Hammer-ish.
My two people that I thought it would be was either Adam Cole or MJF. And you're thinking, MJF, how could MJF be there for a while? I'm saying, I thought maybe,
yeah, if it was
him on one
Tony
of our
Khan, it would have been a better reveal if it was Tony Khan.
You want to
Because
see
then
that
think
much Tony
about
Khan on TV?
Tony Khan as the devil, and now MJF is taken off the roster. He's got no title, all these other things. Now at least you've got me interested in a very Mr. McMahon-ish type storyline. Listen, I'm glad it wasn't Tony Khan, but at least it would have been something different, because all along you're going, please don't let it be Adam Cole. And the thing that ruined it for me was listening to him explain it last night.
Yeah.
It was very monotone. It was very non-feeling, there was no energy and upsides of it or anything. And you had those guys just standing there like they did every other time of the week. They added Wardlow. So I don't know. It just was very anticlimactic to me. So I'm not sure how you can get this devil thing or this kingdom any higher this way. I don't think they had any heat to them, to be honest.
And obviously, we won't know, and we will never know. Do you think that was the plan all along?
I can't believe that was the plan. Maybe the plan was to eventually have Punk. They thought maybe the Punk thing would work out. I don't know. It's like I said, it's all speculation. All I know is I feel like it was a letdown. I just looked at it instantly watching it. I looked at it differently. This was a letdown. It's very anticlimactic.
You never know actually how many ideas they had planned or how far ahead it could have been. We'll never know any of that.
No. What did you think? Were you excited about it? Are you excited to see this devil thing continue, or I mean, what was your take? Because you watch it with different eyes than I do.
I was excited to have it end and find out who it was. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where excited is a stretch, but I had a feeling, and I think most people did, that we would find out that night.
Yeah,
we were going to find out. And by that point in time, you just hear how beat up MJF is.
Yeah.
I don't even know when Adam Cole can get physically involved again.
Right.
So that part was strange to me. I doubt he's really crutching around anymore. I mean, I don't know that. I don't, but if he had surgery or something, that would have been a while ago now. Yeah, it's hard to get excited about. I'm trying to think of it like maybe, and I really don't dislike it being Adam Cole. That's fine with me. I think they lost a lot of critical time to execute Adam Cole being the devil when he got hurt, because he just wasn't around sometimes, or he was doing these vignettes, and I guess you could say, oh, that makes sense, but he just wasn't really physically involved in not his fault, obviously got hurt. But my big thing was, can they put anybody around Adam Cole in this group that it would really help elevate? And I think that's maybe where some of the disappointment lies with some people. But who else could you have put? That I don't know, but for me, that was kind of my thing.
It was okay. You got your Ring of Honor tag team champions. You've got the journeyman in Wardlow, and you have Roddy Strong, but then you have Adam Cole, who can't work.
I like Adam Cole as a heel, though. I don't mind that.
I didn't see. That's the thing that bothered me. I didn't get any heel tendencies there. I just had him talking, and it just some kind of emotion, whether he was sad that he had to do it or he was more angry. The words he was saying were fine, but the body language and the facials and everything didn't match. You know what I mean?
Confused a little bit.
Yeah, I felt a little let down by it because Adam Cole can talk.
Yeah, Adam Cole does a fine job. I don't know. I'd be curious to see where they go with it and what I thought it's not been concluded yet, but that moment, the reveal, didn't come with much substance behind it. They didn't take away that title from MJF. They didn't.
Right.
They just beat him up, and it's like, well, they've just been beating everybody up. So it didn't feel like that next step up on executing how terrible the devil character is.
Yeah. And I feel like we were force-fed even at the end, because Jay White comes out and he has to remind us that he was beaten up by the devil and his henchmen, right?
Bravo. Yeah. I know.
And then, so the guns come out, and then the scissor party comes out because they were beaten. And I think that the commentators did a great job of explaining why everybody was out there.
Yeah.
but it was, to me, it was just, it still all didn't tie in. It didn't tie into what was happening, because the end result here is the main player in this is out of action.
How long do you think he'll be out, if you had to guess?
Well, if all the reports are right, and if he's thinking about shoulder surgery or getting that done, he's out 6 to 9 months.
They didn't beat him to a pulp like they did some of those people, though.
No kidding.
Like, they were throwing him through glass, beating him down. I mean, he didn't get it quite as bad.
So
yet.
The whole, I feel like, to your point, I think there might have been other plans, and along the way they just kept adjusting as they went. It started out to be one of the really good things they were doing, and it was a storyline that you could follow and go, okay, I'm interested in this. I feel like I got sucked in and I was let down. That's just me, the way I saw it.
Well, I mean, there's only one person that, I think for me with the MJF, you knew, just like, all these things are going to come to an end. They were never a true tag team. When I say true tag team, I mean brought in together or pieced together. You didn't ever get the feeling it was going to be a long-term thing, right?
Right.
You never did. So you knew somebody was going to do something.
Yeah, they
for a while,
really hard at that story, and it was a good story.
And I think where the little bit of the swerve, not Swerve Strickland, but the swerve on the story could have been, was that MJF was this terrible person before this friendship, right? That's the whole point of it. He changed because of Adam Cole. So there for longest time, you thought for sure MJF's going to stab him in the back. That's the character he's always been. So that was a little bit of a swerve. But I just think at the end of the day, I kind of ran out. People were really stretching too, like Britt Baker is going to be the devil. Just some silly things. I don't know who else it could have been, though. That's my thing.
I don't know either. I really don't know who else it could have been. Like I said, other than Tony Khan getting himself involved, I don't know what else could have been done to make it. I don't know.
Somebody new, right? I mean, that could have been.
I would have thought for sure it was someone new, another, big reveal or something, but
we'll see where it goes. It's going to be a while before we get a payoff. Are they just going to wreak havoc on the programming for the next however long MJF's out? I don't know. Are they going to trigger somebody else that he comes back? And
who do you tie into that to make them relevant? Because they ran roughshod on the whole locker room. They've done. I mean, the terrible thing is if you can just throw matches together and have the commentators tell the story for them. But I'm a big believer in if you shut the volume off, do you understand the story, or are they telling the story they want to tell? So it's going to be interesting to see going forward the Undisputed Kingdom and what happens with Samoa Joe now, and definitely we'll see where MJF lands on all this as well. So
looks like Little Billy joined on Instagram for a while, then he jumped off very quickly. He must have been intimidated when we were talking about the Devil storyline.
Yeah, he's not a scary guy. He don't like scary stuff.
He does join every time I go live doing something.
He does. I ask him all the time. He goes,
he joined the Scary Stories where we podcast the other night for a while. I saw him.
Stories.
By the time I could see he was in there, he's already gone though. So I couldn't really shout him out. Sorry, Little Billy, if you're listening, wherever you are. Let's talk about one more thing on AEW, then we'll kind of move on. And I'll go ahead and we'll do our usual. I'll present something to you.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it. This was really, and I got to the point, I'm not going to lie, last night where I thought, well, I think this will probably happen. Then it just honestly, it didn't.
What's up with Mercedes? Well, I don't know. I have stated, and I will not backtrack, I have stated that I believe that Mercedes is going to be on the show tonight, okay? Now, here's the thing. I don't know for sure, okay? But here's what I do know. I do know that there are people in WWE who believe that she will be debuting on the show tonight. And I know there are people in AEW who believe that she will be debuting on the show tonight. That doesn't mean she's going to debut, but I think she will. We'll find out tomorrow. Now, when Mariah May, they announced that Mariah May was going to have her debut. And, people were like, I think it'll be Mercedes. And other people, this was on our board.
Wait, who do you, are you talking about the girl from Stardom?
Yes, she's from Stardom. She hasn't debuted yet, but she's going to tonight. And they're like, I mean, they've been building up this Mariah May thing for a long time, and, they can't possibly just put her with some rando. Like, what kind of a debut would that be? It's got to be somebody big. It's got to be Mercedes or somebody like that.
Most in the insider, your favorite term,
My favorite.
Or just a lot of us in general thought we might get a like, hey, this is the first Dynamite of the year. This is a really big deal. Maybe we'll bring out Mercedes Sasha Banks. Didn't happen. And I think it might happen still. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Apparently, all talks with WWE kind of came to an end, according to sources.
Right.
But just because of money, they're too far apart. But if she does come into AEW, which she might, hopefully it's something that I'm kind of glad they didn't rush it, I guess is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm glad they just didn't throw her on as another. And we've talked about this. Here's where I get in trouble. I think AEW is notorious for debuting people in the wrong time and in the wrong segments and all these, and they're just moving on with the show. So I think that would have had to have been something that either end the show or really kick it off strong. I'm also a big fan on Wrestling Rules Apply. WWE and Mercedes are too far off on money, and everybody believes she's going to debut. When's the Royal Rumble?
A couple weeks away now, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to still come closer on money and everything else, and I'll go with it if I understand the way the stories are being told and written on the internet wrestling community that Trinity's on her way back to WWE. I mean, they were pretty close where they left together. They may be coming back together. So I'm glad she didn't debut. I'm certainly glad she being Mercedes didn't debut with what's her name, Marlena or Tiffany Stratton lookalike.
Oh boy, you're gonna get heat for that one.
I'm gonna get heat for it, but that's the first thing I thought when she came out. She looked like
She's been wrestling for a while. Tiffany Stratton's fairly new, but it's all right. I know what you're saying, but
that's what I saw, and then I watched that match, and they made me shut that show off early.
hey, we talked about that last time we recorded with the women's division there. It's just they definitely need a Sasha Banks, but they got to be able to do something with. There's got to be a couple things that happens if they get Mercedes. I keep saying Sasha Banks Mercedes, so you're listening.
Right.
Sorry, I'm mixing it up there. They have to be able to have her in compelling storylines. That's the first. And the second is she has to be able to help build up the people that she's facing, not only believability on her storyline, but also for the future of the women there. And it's just how, from a creative standpoint, what can they brainstorm and come up with? That's what I worry about. If it's all about this money, then that's fine. But,
it's not even what they can come up with. It's who do they think they have on their roster that can go at that level. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the best part about that, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get her name wrong until I know who she is that Malaya, or the girl who debuted.
Okay.
Tiffany Stratton, number 2, debuted.
I'm not even going to correct you. Go ahead. I get your point.
And to me, the best part about that match was the introduction of Deonna Purrazzo. And then I sat there and I did the same thing you just said 2 minutes ago. I sat there and thought, okay, how are they going to get the level of the women's division up to some of these women they're talking about bringing in? Deonna Purrazzo, Mercedes Moné, things like that, because you have a handful or less that can go like that. So what do you do with the women's division? And now you have to think about, you have all those women and you're bringing new women in. Something's got to clear out. Who are we to be invested in the women's division in AEW?
Are you saying something has to get cleared out with the women's division? Because it's already cleared out. Are you saying something else on the show?
No, I'm saying they're going to have to free up some more space in the women's division if they keep bringing all these girls in, because they run a limited schedule to begin with. So how these other girls that need the time going to get these reps and everything?
Well,
because you're bringing in seasoned performers.
Talked about that before. They have other programming they could utilize people on.
Yeah, they better figure it out, because they're talking about some very substantial names in women's wrestling coming to them, and they can't just add them to the roster and just willy-nilly them like they've been doing to other people.
Well, you're sure not getting much of Paige or Soraya. You're not getting
nope. And
I'm not saying from her as in like her literally. They're just not using her.
No,
which I thought would be. I don't physically know where she's at. I don't think. Obviously none of us do. We're not that close to it. But if capable, I would have thought it would have been much more, to be honest.
I felt that way about Ruby Soho. I felt that way about, and then one of my favorite people I like to watch is Willow.
Yeah. And,
even Nyla Rose is hitting, she's very hit and miss now. Very Wardlow-esque in this whole
Wardlow,
in the talent pool, man. So it's, It's going to be interesting, but they're bringing in some. Well, they've been bringing in some good people.
Yeah.
And they just don't. I don't know.
People are still coming in.
I'm frustrated for them, and I'm frustrated because I try really hard to watch a product, and it's hard to turn me off of a product. But by the time I was done watching Darby Allin, I couldn't watch anymore. And and I've said this before, I'm a Swerve Strickland fan. But him
finally got you on the Swerve train.
Him against Garcia, you're not beating Swerve with Garcia. And after watching everything that Darby went through, for those of you who can't see me and just hear me, I'm throwing up the air quotes.
Yeah.
On everything that Darby went through. I understand one company's sports entertainment and one company wants to claim their pro wrestling, strong style, fight style, but it's still got to be believable. And for me, that's why I say and this is what I love about our dynamic. You and I look at the business through two different sets of eyes, but we almost come up with we're pretty much on the same page a lot. But you can't tell me as a wrestling fan that Darby Allin draws you in for any more than let me see what they're going to do to him now. He's never going to get sympathy. He didn't make Takeshita a bigger heel. It didn't advance any storylines. But I'm supposed to believe that Darby Allin out there every week he's out there every week when he should be lying in a body cast for 9 months for the love of Pete, telling some kind of story. Call it selling, call it reacting, call it anything. But by the time I got to that match, so I've struggled with several segments, right? Trying to figure out who the devil is and the debut of the girl, but Deanna come out, that was good. And then watching everybody in and out. And then I want to get to the main event, but one guy I'm really, really interested in now, and I can't watch it. I gotta shut it off. And it's just me being honest. And again, it's not, I'm not throwing shade on the performers. I just don't understand the way it's being put together. And how do you draw people to the end?
Because you want to watch it for the sports-based wrestling, Bill.
No, but that's the thing. You watch Eddie Kingston and Daniel Bryan kick the living crap out of each other because that's strong style, all right? That's hard, that's strong style. But then you see Darby getting thrown around like a rag doll, bending around like Gumby and Pokey, and it's not even a good break from reality-based action. I don't know. I really struggled. Last night really made me go start the bad year, a bad taste in my mouth with the AEW for 2024.
No, I get you. I know.
That's not what you expected.
No, actually, it's what I expected because I think it's just the issue lies in the storyline or lack thereof. It's like when you watch wrestling, you do want to see good matches and you do want to suspend belief, but you want to have a reason to get behind the people just besides the fact they're able to have really good matches.
Yeah, and I want to be brought to the holy crap. Oh my God. And here's the thing. So here's the one I don't want to say the one positive. Here's my positive was I absolutely thought Christian Cage was brilliant.
He's no longer dyeing his hair or anything, is he?
Just let the mother of the thing and the father and I'm proud of you, my son, and the big lizard being ignored the whole time. But
what did that lady call him? I don't know what she called him.
Our father. The fact, here was the best part. The people chanted early, right? They're chanting Luchasaurus, and Christian just ignored him and did his thing and made the people shut up.
He did.
But he's just brilliant. So that's one of the things that's going, to me, that's compelling, right? That's something I want to see. What's Christian up to next? How's he going to manipulate people and all this stuff? And he answers the bell when it comes to physicality. So it's not hard.
He delivers on what he does in every way. That's my favorite part of the show too.
Yeah.
I got a little bit lost in this title shuffle with that championship. It's kind of like, huh? Why? What the heck's going on here? Didn't feel completely necessary. He could have just had the title still, in my opinion, and he could have had a bigger. I would have drug it out and they're still going to drag it out with Adam Cole putting him, edging him. But, the payoff will come at Wembley or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I feel like you didn't need to do that with the title. Just build up his ability to continuously find a way to win even longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems like the things that they are searching to extend, they don't need to. Just let them play out because it's working. And then the things they need to really focus on are,
He's just so good at the little things, though, like an example of that with Luchasaurus, or what do they call him, Killswitch. He said something like, last but certainly not least, so I need to thank and he walked up by him. Yeah. Then he turned around and he said, "Me."
Yeah.
The way he does everything.
It was the best. So that was a really good part of it. But that's just the proof that it's there. The storytelling is there. The whole thing. He incorporated everything into that story. And so you can follow it, and it's believable, and, all these things. So
we talked about the sports-based wrestling, and because I'm not going to lie to you, the New Japan, I do watch the New Japan Pro.
Yep.
I don't watch as much as I used to just because of time, but one thing about it is it's difficult for me to keep along with the storylines just because of language barrier. So it's purely stories inside of a match that I have to follow with that. And I don't watch it quite enough to be able to keep up with the story. So if I do want to watch something where I know they're going to be good matches, that's a really good thing to do. But they had their big pay-per-view late, or I guess I want to say into the early morning hours. I know you haven't watched it. I don't think you watched a lot of it, but there was something there that I'm sure you've seen, and I'll share it here.
これはですね、たった今です、情報が入りました。元 WWE のドルフ・ジグラーことニック・ネメスが、なんとニック・ネメスが。
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Nick Nemeth, a wanted man. Apparently the wanted man for David Finlay.
You're talking to me for some reason? You think you deserve to talk to me? You think you deserve to be in my presence?
I've never known Nick Nemeth to play nice with guys who disrespect.
We got a fight!
We got a fight on our hands! Somebody got to break this up.
They actually look just like that brawl between Sean Strickland and that other guy in the UFC crowd. The UFC the UFC totally staged, or those two guys did. They're throwing the same kind of punches. But what did you think about Dolph Ziggler? So we were talking like maybe TNA, right? They keep teasing this big. They've got the money to spend. They've possibly have somebody big lined up in TNA.
Yeah,
starting to run out of people, man. But Dolph Ziggler, what do you think about that? But then again, they could have a working relationship with both. We don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's absolutely possible where Dolph has that working relationship, or has had this, if TNA's his direction, that he's made it understood this is what he's doing, similar to like what Matt Cardona does or something like that. You know what I mean? Where they're in different places. The first thing I thought of, I tried to think back on his career, and I realized I can't remember much of my career, never mind anybody else's, but I don't believe that Nick was ever in Japan, never worked in Japan. And I could be wrong. I'm not sure. So somebody out there who's listening, let me know if you follow what Dolph Ziggler's done, Nick Nemeth has done, and tell me. But I don't remember him ever spending a significant amount of time working in Japan or anything.
It's so long at WWE, it'd be hard to imagine.
What's that?
He spent so long at WWE, it'd be hard to imagine him having.
Yeah, because I know he's OVW, and which is WWE. So that's where he's been, I think, out of college. So to me, I was excited because this is a perfect place for him to. I mean, the rest of the world has seen him, but now to get to have him there live in Japan, and I think that's it's one of those things we always say. There's a bucket list for wrestlers of things they'd like to do. At least for me, and for the my circle, Japan was a big thing. So but I would love the fact that he's there, and he's gonna be there and bring everything he has to them. It also said don't be so sure he's not going to be in the Royal Rumble or something like that, because he's got a lot of heat on him, again, in a good way, right? And his name's all over the place, and that's what WWE wants. So maybe they'll start to see this switch in gears and really appreciate the guy they had in front of him for all those years. But I was excited to see him in Japan. I thought it was great.
Before we move on out of this topic of the two big free agents we've talked about here, Sasha Banks, Mercedes, what's your experience around? Have you been around her much? And then obviously you've been around Dolph some. Talk about that, because I know people like hearing about your direct experience with people. So
starting with Nick Nemeth, I was there. Lance Storm was a trainer in OVW. Lance, as we all know, the son of Canada, so he'd go back to Calgary every 2 weeks, and that left them without a trainer. So I would come from the Tough Enoughs, and we had talked about that from Tough Enoughs, and I'd go down for 2 weeks or something. So I got to know the Bobby Lashleys and the Nick Nemeth and all those guys, and Dinsmore and Conway, and I got to work with all those guys as they were getting ready to be called up. And then naturally working with Dolph as I was a producer, not necessarily directly with him, but being around the talent and all that stuff. Always been a big fan. Always been a big fan of what he can do. He's another guy who took exactly the opportunity with Spirit Squad and all that, and look who the survivors were out of that. So it's just hats off to him. But I'm really excited for him. I'm excited for the people, the Japan fans, and to see what comes out of it. But I'll always say, don't even for one night only, don't be surprised to see him back in the Royal Rumble. And now
it would be
Mercedes. I've been with her from the beginning when she had her tryout in Tampa. We were together in FCW, and then NXT and in the Performance Center. Again, big fan, knew what she was capable of. You knew back then she had the heart of a lion because she was an itty bitty thing, but she had this no quit attitude and proved very early on that she's a fan of the industry, and
that's what really bleeds through with her.
And so you look at it, right? Part of the 4 horsewomen. I mean, that group of women, second to none. There's never going to be another group of women that came out like that. And the reason why the rest of them, the people that followed, the Alexa Blisses and so on, were so good because they got to work with these girls every day. Go back to our thing, what we talk about every day. They're in the Performance Center. They're doing something. They're getting to know everybody. And then when they got to WWE, their storytelling was unbelievable. So it was that, it was unbelievable. So I'm going to go with.
Well, you were there right when it started taking off. A lot of that women's
red hot
greatness. Yeah.
Red hot. I remember spending countless hours with the talent, just doing ring entrances, trying different music. How can we move? How can we do the thing? And she had the, out with the big knucks with the boss and all this, and just watching it all come to be and see who they turn out to be. It's amazing. So I've been able to be around a lot of talent. And I say it that way. A lot of people say, I did this, I did that. I did nothing. I was around a lot of talent and thankfully had some input around the things they were doing and how it was being done. But two of the best right there in Dolph Ziggler and Sasha Banks.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. People like hearing that. Another thing that happened over the last couple of days, and it kind of out of nowhere, but not necessarily surprising, is Kevin Dunn's exit from WWE. I wasn't able to get anything queued up. I did listen to Jim Cornette earlier.
I'm sure that was a positive.
He loves Kevin Dunn.
Yeah.
To his point, he's a 70-year-old man that's made tens of millions of dollars. I mean, and Vince McMahon's gone, so it doesn't seem like a lot of people are surprised.
No, I think it. I think anybody in the know, or been around it, pretty clear to see that if Vince was gone, because although that Vince
become such a trusted guy just because he was there when everything blew up.
Well, if I understand it right, and I could be wrong, but I think I understand it right, Kevin Dunn's dad worked for Vince's dad. So they'd been together for quite a long time and built that trust. But I'll say this, other than Vince, Kevin Dunn runs the show. He's going to make you a star. He had the controls. You heard Kevin Dunn on the headphones throughout the day and night, much more than you did Vince or anybody else. I'm not surprised by it.
It seemed abrupt. But who knows how abrupt it really was.
Because I think because it got let out before anybody needed to know. And then, that's when Nick Khan and Triple H addressed it and all that stuff. But it seemed like it happened really fast for public knowledge. I thought it was really, really weird to see it not stay till WrestleMania. But here's the other thing. The people that have been around for Kevin for so long, I know they all pay attention. I know they all watch and see the madness and see the magic that's created. So it's to me, it's much like anything else. As Vince has moved on, Triple H steps right in. As Kevin Dunn is going to move on, the next person is going to move right in.
I don't know what that looks like behind the scenes on who's behind Kevin Dunn and who works with Kevin Dunn close. It seems like you always just hear about Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, because that it really was. It began and ended with him. There was a ton of people. I was used to say Kevin was like all the strings. This one goes here, and I don't want to use the term puppet master because it'll come out, derogatory, and I didn't mean it that way. But Kevin was above it, like boom, 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 and people had to stay with him. And to me, that's the WWE way. We're rolling. Here's an opportunity to jump on, pay attention, because you're gonna drive this car someday. And if you don't believe that, that's where people come into other positions. But you had to believe where you were is where you belonged, and you could do that. And I think that's the mentality. And I think it was abrupt because, like, oh, Kevin Dunn. So you're almost waiting to hear, right? Wrestling Mind goes in. You're almost waiting to hear something controversial follow it. I'm glad that was the case. I'm glad they just said, hey, and we tried to keep him, but he made up his mind, and he went to the end of the year. So good for him. I never had one issue with Kevin Dunn.
Does it feel like a start of something new as far as like a next generation of management?
Yeah, because what happened what was it today in the news all over that TKO and UCF and WWE or UFC and WWE merged their creative people or their production companies or something that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I'll look up here, but you go ahead.
Yeah. I know they merged people from TKO and WWE, and so, the conversation, I guess, is going to be more layoffs internally, WWE-wise, but they're going to combine the best of the best from both sides.
Global partnership teams.
Yeah. Kevin Dunn led was the vice president of global television and stuff like that, so I'd imagine that played a big part in it, knowing, the direction going into 2024. So, but it'll be interesting to see the dynamic and how we as fans on this side of the screen see the production value change, enhance, something.
Yeah, this is more of this is a big marketing thing as far as building their marketing portfolio.
Yeah.
Being able to have the two. That's what the approach is going to be, though. We have these two products.
Yep.
You hear about Vince McMahon being really critical, and even Dana White and who's his name? Ariel with TKO.
Yeah.
Talked about how critical it was for Vince McMahon to bring in a lot of these new deals that they got with Saudi Arabia, UFC, and stuff like that. So you could definitely kind of see it forming where I do think, I'm not going to say it's going to be like cross-promotional platform. I'm not going to say that. But as far as a marketing brand goes and future deals, whether it be television or maybe other things, maybe not television, there is going to be some grouping of those two entities together.
Who was it Forrest Whitaker? Forrest Griffin? Who was the UFC guy at one of the live events over the holidays that got into it with one of the guys? So that's what I instantly went to. UFC guys are going to be there, and at all the UFC shows, hey, it's WWE superstar Bianca Belair, visiting her friend.
They always have kind of highlighted each other, though.
I think
Rey Mysterio was here recently. Undertaker's, Triple H, they've all been it.
Yep.
Or vice versa. I mean, I'm not surprised with that.
I think you're gonna see more of that going into this year, and then you're gonna see the thing like we saw with Nemeth in Japan. Like you said, we're gonna have some cross promotion.
Do you really think this TNA thing has any light of the day? Because a lot of people are saying TNA's phrasing it as premium live events now. That must mean that they're using that terminology. That must mean they're going to be associated because they have that streaming deal, right, with Endeavor?
Either it means they've got some good backing that they need to get that better television, but I don't know. Here's the thing. It was exciting to talk about a couple weeks ago, but with everything's going on in wrestling, you almost forget about that. And now you got, let's look at Deonna Purrazzo left. Now, if Trinity goes, what happens? So it's almost, they're almost stuck in that position.
Yeah. I don't know. They just need a bigger platform, see what they can do. I think that
I agree.
We talked about that so much.
Yeah.
Sure, if they can get on a better streaming thing, even just easier way to consume content, that's a start. But as far as television, it seems like that and the NWA, that's kind of we haven't heard much about that lately.
No, they've kind of fallen. The big talk 2 and 3 months ago was NWA had a TV deal they're working on, and TNA has this new thing, and everybody's got, and all of a sudden we're not talking about that stuff again because maybe it goes back to that thing, ratings. Maybe those 7-star matches are starting to get to people.
I wonder when the last 5-star TNA match was. I'll have to look. They've never had a 7-star though. Damn it, as far as I know. Tell me if I'm wrong. That's not an easy accomplishment. I'm curious to see what happens, but you never know. To your point, now that they have this new brand, this new thing, they could do a lot of different things. But
Yeah.
Because I guess like we're stuck in the mindset like Vince McMahon's there, right? Like he would never help. I don't want to say never because he actually has done stuff with other wrestling companies. That wouldn't be true, but it would be odd in like modern times to think of Vince McMahon doing anything that could be associated with helping TNA. But Vince McMahon's not the guy necessarily at the end of the day.
All it takes for something to start is two people talking about it.
Yeah.
And so someone says to Triple H, hey, what do you think of TNA? And they had a conversation. Someone in the back of the room didn't care what the conversation. All they heard was Triple H say TNA out loud, and they, So it will be interesting. I'm also a firm believer, right? Wrestling rules. When people deny things so much, Punk will never be back in WWE, and here it is. If it's good for business.
That's what you thought, Bill.
Maybe WWE's looking at TNA to take their top NXT talent and put them on a bigger, or vice versa.
Yeah, true. Let's talk about the Royal Rumble real quick. Is it just me, or does it seem like you always every year hear guys and girls saying like, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble, but it seems like it's really gone even more than that. People just really promoting that they're going to be in the match. Like tonight on that live special they did on Peacock, that's all it was. Like Shinsuke Nakamura, all the people that you already knew are going to be in there coming out and saying like, I'm going to be in it.
Yeah.
I've heard more of that this year.
Do you think they're just trying to remind us that it's another premium live event, or?
I don't know, but have you heard more talk about it as far as people saying they're going to be in, or is that just me?
It's 2 weeks away, right?
It is the weekend. Is it 2 or 3 weekends from this weekend? I'd have to look.
It's before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's in January.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble. The 37th annual Royal Rumble. January 27th. So that would fall.
So just about 3 weeks from now. So in 3 weeks, are you going to get the Royal Rumble just because you heard Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be in it when you kind of, like you said, you already kind of knew who the 30 guys are?
I don't know. It seemed like I've been hearing way more of that this year. I don't know.
But there's nothing else about the Royal Rumble we've heard about, right?
They're having a triple threat match to see who's going to have a title match there. Besides that, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, where the Royal Rumble was built up like the other ones, and so I just think all their eggs are in one basket. But again, I forget what I'm not excited about the Royal Rumble.
I'm excited about that.
Here, I'm excited to see where there's always at least 3 participants that we're not expecting.
Yeah.
Do you expect anyone from AEW?
You mean like that used to work there? Possibly. Yeah, man. There's been some people that have been gone lately, but I don't know if they'll hold off on what's his name long enough. I don't know. I don't think. Not that I could really think of. Maybe. Never know. Maybe MJF will be there. Maybe the Young Bucks. I don't know. Be Super Kick City. All right, we'll move on from that. But I just thought that was interesting. Let's talk about another tease that we got this week that was really interesting to me. The Rock came back. I'll share a video of it.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact segment of what he said later. Get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
The Rock is going to sing you a little verse from our national anthem. And the rocket's red glare, San Diego's aware that you are jacked as hell, but your balls still aren't there. You're an angry, toxic douchebag who clearly has no class. So you've left The Rock no choice but to whoop your candy ass.
Mahal went right after The Rock. Sick of being disrespected out here. And Mahal taking it to the People's Champion.
Well, take it to The Rock before he takes it to you. Smart move, Mahal.
Jinder has no sense of humor. None. Zero. And here comes The Rock. The People's Champ unloaded on Mahal. Spinebuster. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
There's a lot of talk from sources. I love it when Pat McAfee always says that. But they were like, there's gonna be like a former WWE champion that's gonna be on Raw 1, first Raw of the year. People are like, somebody gonna make a big return, like that's gonna be in a full-time story picture. I loved it that Jinder Mahal came out because he does check the box, right?
That was the best part. There's a little bit of that DX humor because a lot of people were speculating it was Andrade, right?
Yeah, some were. Then some people were saying, well, I guess he wasn't technically a...
And here comes, in the internet wrestling community, people, it was just The Rock. The fans speak for themselves.
He did... well, the reason I brought this up is because we were segueing to WrestleMania off of Rumble. He did kind of throw out there that he might like to prove that he's the head of the table.
There's no teasing this and not paying it off. It's going to have to be... Now, I know there's speculation between the Rumble...
Chamber, I don't know what else would be.
There's Elimination Chamber is before Mania, right? So I think there's speculation between the Rumble, Elimination Chamber. Which one's in Australia? Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. And
then Mania. So you have 3 places where you're at least going to see The Rock.
You think so?
Face. They have to. They've been teasing it and not paying it off for so long. I think they have to. And I listened to 2 shows this week, and the greatest point ever about Elimination Chamber is when you're going to get, right? You got New Zealand there, you got American Samoa, Australia, all these places. Where are you going to draw more money? And if it's a money thing, you put Roman Reigns and The Rock internationally, I think it'd be pretty amazing. But I don't know if it goes. I don't know if it goes to WrestleMania. I don't think it lasts that long. That's just me.
You got a lot of variables here, and you're wondering how it's all going to work out. You've got Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, The Rock. I don't know.
Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Randy Orton,
Seth Rollins,
AJ Styles, all these guys that have, other than Seth, all these guys that have come back. Now you throw Rock into it. Now you throw, Roman's involved. So, but that's the thing. You can go 14 different ways with it, which is what's cool because it works. And I think that's where I'm lost on but we'll go backwards. So, but I think we're going to get The Rock and Roman for sure. And I think we're going to get it before WrestleMania.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But it'd be hard for me to picture Rock doing that, but not WrestleMania, though. But you never know.
Well, then, it doesn't, financially, it's not a big deal because now with the merger, they can afford it. But you got to think about how many times he's able to appear. And if he's just going for the head of the table, what's that mean with the championship? So The Rock can't go over.
Yeah, it's not 2010, 2011.
Yeah. So you said it, there's a lot of variables to it, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play it out. And that's why I'm a big fan of. I don't try to read into it. That was a cool segment. That worked.
Punk had his Madison Square Garden match with Dominic Mysterio. Did you see that segment where, Madison Square Garden gave him what's kind of like, I don't know what they call it, key to the arena? I don't know what you call it. Like,
yeah,
being in Madison Square Garden, how cool of a thing is that? I mean, the history of wrestling is huge, but just Madison Square Garden in general.
Growing up there, right? That's where I'm from. And so MSG to me was the same as, my son played at Yankee Stadium. So anything MSG wise, I just thought it was a cool moment. And just so we're being honest, they're making it very known that Punk is being received well and everywhere he goes and people are glad to see him back and they tout the numbers and, merchandise and all that stuff, which is great. But I like the way they're going about the public relations aspect of it and kind of reeling old Punk fans back in.
Yeah. I just thought that was cool being associated with Madison Square Garden. And did you get to be in there much?
I was there. I was there once as a fan, and I might have worked in there 4 times.
That just seems like such a significant place.
And it's weird because when you go in, you're expecting the mecca of arenas, and it's just a small venue, but it looks amazing on TV, and
it's just where it is too, man.
That crowd, we're right in the middle of the city, and the crowd and the atmosphere is amazing. So yeah, that was really, really cool. So I couldn't imagine what he felt getting that, but it's cool to see that public relations part really, in my opinion, working and bringing people back to it.
Well, I kind of went through all the stuff that I have, man. I saw you wanted to call out David Loretta. You had some other beef that you had.
This look, you and I, every week go out of our way to, and it's not hard to do. We talk about Conan and we talk about, and crap, we show videos of Alvarez and Meltzer and, the wrestling community. Well, here's my guy, my Jersey guy, David LaGreca, the king of sports radio, busted open, Sirius XM, 24/7. He's Saturday to Saturday. He has shows, and he had the colossal gall in the middle of what's been a very busy wrestling week to say Elvis was no good. I can't even quote him the right way because it's so frustrating.
I haven't heard this yet. I'll have to check it out.
I tweeted it, and did you saw the reply because he tagged you in it? It's Tom Jones doing something with birds. And so now I feel like so we're a double-edged sword here, you and I, Jeff, because now we know the great Dave LaGreca is listening to what we do, and hopefully we get him on this show.
That'd be awesome.
The other part is I'm now mad at him because he's crapping on the king of rock and roll. And I'm a huge Elvis fan.
You should be Elvis for Halloween.
I was Elvis the Pelvis for many years. Elvis.
Oh, man. Just the visuals from that. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Oh, so what else? Anything else you want to bring up, man? I'm been steering the ship. Anything else that's crossing your mind?
No. I'm excited for. It's always like the new year, and so.
What do you think it brings for wrestling? Like 2023, you talk about WWE success.
Yeah.
Talk about AEW struggles. They've got some good stuff too. But all in all, what do you think about 2024 in wrestling?
I think it's going to be. Oh, I'd like to say it's going to be hard to top what wrestling and all of wrestling did in 2023. But I think we're going to see a separation again. Like, I feel like New Japan now wants to compete with the audience, so they're bringing over the greats, right? Because there's always New Japan coming over here, so it looks like this side of the pond is stealing some of their stars. So I like where it's going. I think we're going to see separation, and I think we're going to see some people return, more people. I think we're also going to see the demand for more live events. So I think 2024 is going to be a lot busier than 2023 was.
We talked about it. There's just a certain value that's really hard to compete with live entertainment. That's really going to show. And there's so many big things that we're going to come out of this year. There'll be new television deals that will be potentially to be huge, not just financially, but impact on wrestling in general could be huge.
And the other side of it is it's a double-edged sword, right? Because as wrestling fans, we want to see as many events as we can, right? There's many live events. Heck, you could travel from city to city for the whole loop.
Yeah.
But the business side is they're so far and few between, and the ticket prices have gone up so much. And now they're touting the largest, money-making things in the history of MSG, because you got to think about those ticket prices have gone up because they're not being seen every week somewhere, right? So it's almost like you starve the people a little bit. You give them a good holiday tour like WWE did, and then, okay, you take it away for 2 more months, and AEW goes out for a couple things, and then, takes it away. Now TNA, and now hopefully NWA picks it back up, and
maybe Lucha Underground. Can we get that back?
I mean, there's so many options now where wrestling is hot. And here's how I know wrestling's hot. And this is where you have to appreciate my 30 plus years in this industry. When this industry is going to take off again, when a new show on TV is about midget wrestling. And I'm trying to say with a straight face, and I'm afraid I'm going to start laughing.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I saw the commercial the other day. It's the traveling journeys of these smaller people wrestling.
Really? What's it on?
I turned to my daughter and I said, this is how you know the business is hot again. Yeah. Because there's going to be all kinds of wrestling things going on. People are going to jump on it.
Hulu's got the show with WWE. What's it called? Love and WWE instead of Love and Basketball. I know you're going to watch that.
I don't know if that's going to be a good thing.
The point being, there's evidently a little bit of a demand for more content.
Well, I'm sure if they look hard enough, there's a lot of content. But it's I don't know if that's a good thing, man. You're tapping into that market, but nothing ever comes good out of a wrestling relationship when you
Total Divas had a good run. Damn good. You've been on Total Divas.
I love you, Total Divas. Look at me.
Total Bill. Maybe that'll be the run of 2024. Total Bill.
Maybe I've been approached about something in the wrestling industry. I don't know.
Wrestling. I'm in the wrestling bit. You want to segue to On This Day in Pro Wrestling History?
Yes, because there's one that if you don't show it, I'm going to call you out on it.
Well, I only show stuff that's easily that there's footage of and stuff. So if there's something,
okay,
correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have every single day. We've also haven't recorded for a few weeks. So.
That's all right. I know which one it is, and I'll be honest with you. And if you show it, I'm going to be like, you are the man.
Well, I probably won't. That's a lot of pressure. I could probably think of it though if I don't though. We can get to that when we get there.
Okay.
I also make them where I know people are going to watch them. That might sound bad. Find the first one here. So we're just going to kind of look at some stuff like why we've been out on the holiday thing.
Oh, so this one's not on this day for today.
Oh, there is one. I do have the last one.
Okay, but that's not the one that's coming up now.
No.
Okay.
That'll be the last one. So the first one here is actually, and I remember this because I was a big Ring of Honor guy then. This goes back to the 26th of December 2004. Like I said, we're just going to pick 5 or 6 ones here in the last couple weeks. Ring of Honor final battle took place from Pennsylvania National Guard Armory in Philadelphia. Samoa Joe's record-setting Ring of Honor World Championship run came to an end. Joe had reigned as champion for 645 days. He was defeated by Austin Aries in what was a fantastic match.
Artillery on Aries. I think he's calling for the Muscle Buster Pump. I think he could blow on Austin Aries right now and it'd be over. Look at Joe though. Look at that look on his face. Roderick Strong screaming words of encouragement. Oh, here it comes. It's going to be all over the Muscle Buster. Joe is going into 2005 as champion. Crucifix bomb. Aries back to the knee. What a kick.
Awesome match, man.
They were all babies back then.
So we always give so much love to OVW.
Yeah.
For that group of guys. But around the same time period, dude, oh my gosh.
No, these guys, that group, the Briscoes and everybody that was there, Roddy Strong, Adam Cole and all those guys that were there, it was an unbelievable group of men and women that were there. So, like we always say, I think people they get a chance to go back, delve into that library of ROH, and you'll see some really good stuff and see some of those same stars now and what they've become, and how they brought it with them. So it's really cool.
Obviously, I like Austin Aries a lot. He's a friend, kind of a misunderstood guy, to be honest. But one thing I liked about him is he never did stuff that wasn't believable. So he's not the biggest of guys. But he has these great matches with big guys. He had great matches with Bully Ray even. But he just does stuff that makes sense, right? And I think that's kind of like, that almost gets lost in wrestling today because we do have a lot of smaller people, which is nothing wrong with that. But you're mixing them in with bigger people, and it's just how you book it and how you do it. But Austin Aries he was always realistic on the things he did.
Yeah.
Like right there, the crucifix bomb. Like he just shifted his weight. He didn't choke slam Samoa Joe. You know what I mean?
It was, and even I say back then, it's kind of the style they have now, but back then they were better storytellers, more reactionary, to your point of things were believable. As outrageous as some of it was believable.
Yeah.
And because you saw it happening. Yeah, there was something about it back then, but he's good storyteller, man.
That was a neat moment, though. Samoa Joe had a heck of a run there.
I wonder why he never became part of the bloodline. Because there is no, why? Because there is no family ties there. That's exactly why.
At the end of the day, I think we're all going to be asking why Samoa Joe wasn't a bigger part of wrestling.
But I think he's better this way. because I thought when he joined WWE was a step backwards for him. That I don't think he was ever allowed to kind of get over that hump.
When he got on the main roster, yeah.
When he got to the main roster, it was just
NXT was not a step back for anybody at that point.
No. I bet when he got up to the main roster, it was a step back for him. Yeah.
Next on, this is the 27th of December. We've covered this before in our deep dive Bill Goldberg episode, so I encourage you to go back and watch that if you haven't. Great episode, though. But this is the 27th of December in 1998 at Starrcade. Goldberg's 173-match winning streak came to an end when he lost the WCW World Heavyweight Championship to Kevin Nash. Obviously, the cattle prod poke here happened.
Yeah.
And we've talked this before, but we haven't watched it together before, so.
The shot, into the ropes, Goldberg, another phenomenal move. Kevin Nash goes down. What is this? What is he doing here? This Wolfpack wannabe.
Guess he's trying to prove that he deserves a right to wear those colors. I think all he deserves is a spear from Goldberg.
Bam Bam's in.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Remember, this is no disqualification.
Absolutely it is. And Bigelow, once again uninvited. Whoa! Not supposed to be here. Sending him to jail.
Meanwhile, Nash gets a break. That's one of those tasers the police use.
It's like a stun gun. That was Scott Hall.
That was Scott Hall. You could hear it clicking. It was like a cattle prod or a stun gun.
Kevin Nash never saw that.
And he jabbed it in the midsection of Goldberg.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute.
He
Jackknife powerbomb.
could this be it? 1, 2, 3.
The streak is over.
And we have a new world champion.
The streak is over. 173-1 and a new world champion.
Talked about this before, but looking back at it now, what do you think about it? And what did people think about it backstage then? I
think I can't speak for everybody. I thought a lot of people were just like, what? Like, because if you weren't in the know, you didn't know what was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
You know, for everyone on jabroni status, me included, you know, if you weren't in the mix, you didn't know. But in watching going, I tell you, I think it's more entertaining watching it now, because watching it when you were there live without the commentary and, you know, everything else. But that was a big deal. That was a big deal back then, and rightfully so. You ended the streak.
What about the jackknife powerbomb? Was that scary to take?
I didn't think so. I think it was, to me, it's the same as a, suplex.
There's not like okay, I see your point. It's not like a follow through, I guess. Like you watched some Bill DeMott power bombs when you
there's no follow. Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like falling back from that.
Yeah, it's just do your thing.
Yeah.
But listen, you're 10 feet in the air with
I was about to say, yeah, Kevin Nash is a big dude.
Everything changes at a certain level of height when you're in that ring. Getting power bombed by, even by, BG, Bill Goldberg, was a lot different and easier than being power bombed by Kevin Nash. Yeah, great move. Safe. I don't want to start a different conversation, but I never heard, let's just say this, I've never been a part of anything where Kevin Nash wasn't safe. So that power bomb is very safe.
Yeah. Break into the regular programming here.
What is my best? Oh, man, that's a good guess. But 605. That was a good guess.
Either one's absolutely absurd, honest.
Yeah, 605 is my personal best at my personal record bench press.
We'll move on to the next thing here. This event was on the 28th. It was WCW. This is actually WCW's most commercially successful pay-per-view of all time. It was Starrcade. It was the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. The event was built around this big blockbuster main event with Hulk Hogan defending the title against Sting. This is actually crazy, Bill, because it's about an 18-month build-up to this. And I don't know if you remember this, but Sting didn't wrestle at all. They just saved it for this moment. The Sting interaction was so limited at this point in time after coming back again, kind of, I don't want to say Crow 2, but kind of like a rebrand yet again of it. We didn't get to see any, you know what I'm talking about? Like so little Sting, right? Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Yeah, Sting 2.0.
Sting 2.0, yep.
Yeah.
So this The payoff here is quite interesting how it all plays out. This is also the same night that Bret Hart is in a referee in an earlier match between an Eric Bischoff match. So it all kind of comes together here, and it was very odd. Let's watch it.
Sting needs to bring that belt home to WCW. Big leg drop.
1, 2, 3. Bret Hart has come out and taken. What? Nick Patrick.
That was 3 count. No, sir, that was 3. What do you think? Patrick made the 3 count, and Bret Hart certainly doesn't seem to agree.
Bret Hart is here tonight as a referee, is that right?
Members of the NWO have arrived. Buff Bagwell. Sting nails him. Down goes Norton. Here
Bret Hart
again.
Stinger splash out to the top.
Here it comes.
Up. The Scorpion Deathlock.
Hart down.
Hart's right in Hogan.
New heavyweight champion of the world, Sting. For WCW, there's Luger.
Hey, it's celebration time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sting has brought it back where it belongs. The ring is filling up. Look at the face. So much emotion. Tonight is our night. Sting is the world heavyweight champion.
Regardless of how it all played out, which is silly, that moment felt really special. Was that authentic in the ring like it appeared to be?
Yeah, because guys wanted to believe. I don't care who we are, even on these podcasts, and we talk, we get to share stories, and everybody, everybody learns the wrestling jargon. It's a work and sell and babyface and heel and all these things they know about. And everybody, it's just a work, and we don't believe it. Like there were certain points I felt like in WCW that, one, you knew the ship was going down, but two, this is where you were, this is what you did for the guys that really dug it.
But this was a big time here. This was the most financially successful pay-per-view.
So even though it was going in different directions and it didn't make sense and a lot of guys weren't getting opportunities and all these things you hear about, when those moments came, that was the thing. Like, you believed that there's Sting, Mr. WCW, right? He's gonna right the wrongs. And because we all got the same rah-rah speeches from the executives at the time of, this is where we're going. We all knew we were going to hit the iceberg sooner or later. But this, answer your question, yeah, this was a real moment. Guys were genuinely happy for Sting and knew, wanted him. I always say this. I think Sting was one of those guys you always wanted around. He wasn't walking up and down being a cheerleader, but he just had that presence of, you want to be around this guy. This is how you should act. This is how you should conduct yourself. And this is how business is done. I think, yes, the very long answer to your question is I think it was genuine. I think it was, to a lot of the guys there, it really meant something.
That moment in the ring when they're all holding him up, though, just seemed really special. And I think watching it at home, it come across that way. But the events that got there were very strange. Was that a slow count to you? I mean, a fast count to you?
Yeah, that was
what happened there.
Everything was a swerve.
Yeah, but what happened there? It wasn't a fast count. That's the slowest fast count ever.
It's one person telling the ref to do one thing and one person telling the ref to do another, and that was what it was in WCW. Like, you weren't in the know, and just because you thought you might have an idea of what was going to happen, somebody else has a different idea or something. So it was very weird, but I think it was look at the reaction of the people. I mean, as hokey as it is sometimes to watch that stuff, it was working.
But at the end of the day, a lot of people in the community liked to associate it with the fact that Hogan didn't want to put anybody over.
Yeah.
And that was another example of that, some people would say.
There had to be different reasons to it and all this.
Yeah.
All these other things. It was never going to be clean. And I'm sure it was supposed to lead to Hogan Bret Hart, but we know that never happened. And, the Bret Hart thing was short-lived. So who knows? But yeah, nothing was ever going to be done clean.
Just mentioning something real quick. On the 30th, back in 2020, AEW had this really cool episode they dedicated to Brody Lee, Luke Harper.
Yeah.
Of his passing. They had an awesome, I'm not sharing in the clips, but they had an awesome episode. They put together video packages, people talking, then the matches, his son, and all that. 10 Bill salute. Your experience with him?
The man just wanted to wrestle. The man just wanted to wrestle. He showed up every day. He did what was asked. He had a lot to offer, and when he realized that he could offer it and not worry about the repercussions, and then other people believed in him, he was a star. He was a star. He was fun. I think he was fun to be around. It was really cool to see how serious he took the business and how much he cared.
Seemed like a really special guy.
Yeah,
was really liked.
Good guy.
His work was good too. I mean,
he's a good working big man. Yeah,
I feel like he didn't always get the opportunity to show how creative he was, and he did. And I will say, he did have some good stuff in AEW where he got that opportunity.
Yeah,
he had that like playoff character of Vince McMahon, and
yeah, and
he did some cool stuff when he went.
We didn't see the best of him.
We got to actually see. Yeah, that was actually cool. 31st of December 2007, they had this match here where it had built up where Ric Flair's career was on the line.
Yeah,
there's Triple H and a no DQ match. I'll share that. I actually really like this part of Flair and Triple H's storyline around here.
Neither man holding anything back, man. Fights, the laughs, the chops, the passion, the will to continue this amazing career. Around in Greensboro. Look at this. Flair. Look at this. Flair in no man's land up there.
Now, come on, give us that strut. There it is. About a home field advantage. I think it's here. Whoa.
Flair now quickly.
Oh, no.
Yes.
He's got it. Flair's got the figure 4.
Is there anywhere for the game to go? And in the ropes. What the hell is... Hey, William Regal just nailed him. But the bitch looks Ric Flair.
With those brass knuckles.
What the hell is going on?
Here's your winner by disqualification, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
What? And the ramifications of William Regal's actions are earth-shattering.
At that age, he was having some great matches, man.
Yeah, and he was in there. Like, Paul Levesque, to me, is a generation behind. Like, Paul, to me, has that mentality that he's a big NWA fan. You know, Hunter's a historian. And I think that was his era where he would have been bigger than he is now. And that's to see him with Flair. One, I can't speak for him, but one, I'd probably say that's a dream match all the time. But there was two guys. That was a guy that Flair had worked with his whole career, that had that understanding and all those things. And they told great stories throughout that. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think it was but Flair was having good matches then though, man.
Yes,
he really
yeah.
At his age then, I mean, he was just having incredible matches, I thought. And that was actually a really good match. I don't have the segment pulled up, but then on the second, there was a strange segment where Al Wilson, Tori Wilson's father, married Dawn Marie on SmackDown. Yeah. They held the wedding in their underwear. There was no run-in or anything that just happened, which I've never seen a wrestling wedding without a run-in, so that was weird. Do you remember Tori Wilson's dad?
He was a good guy.
I have no doubt.
He was funny.
Oh, it was entertaining.
It was entertaining. It was weird.
Hurricane was the guy officiating the wedding.
Yeah.
His accent is so strong that it had to have been him. I don't know that for a fact. I'm going to have to look it up.
It was weird, but I think it was probably more entertaining behind the curtain than for all the millions of people watching it. But it was good stuff.
That guy had to be a trooper to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Al Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the third Triple H beat Big Show for a title, that brings us up to today now. And this is the one I have for today, and if it's the biggest one, so if you have something else, then forgive me. But this is the one that takes home all the apples. Let's go ahead and watch it before we go into it.
If you're even thinking about changing the channel to our competition, fans, do not. Because we understand that Mick Foley is going to win their world title. Going to put some butts in the seat. Oh, we got big problems here now! This is not a title match that's going to start 2 minutes before we go off the air. We're talking action here. This is the WWF, baby. The most electrifying move in sports entertainment today. The corporate elbow. Yes. And Rock plants it. Cover. 2. And Mankind gets the shoulder up. There you go. Man just grabbed Mankind's leg. The belt. Oh. You want the belt, Mankind. You got it. Hook of the leg. There's 2. Yes. Mr. McMahon, you gotta do something! No disqualification! And there's Billy Gunn! What? Oh, Stone Cold is here! The rattlesnake is here! Look out! Oh, Stone Cold with a chair! No! No! Don't do it! Oh my God, no! Mankind did it! Mick Foley did it! Mankind has achieved his dream and the dream of everyone else who's been told you can't do it! You can't do it! You can't do this!
So let's paint the picture here. That Raw was pre-taped previously the week before. Obviously, the results were known by those in the community. Back then, though, the internet wasn't quite the same it is now.
Right.
You really had to go out of your way to go find it. I mean, but it was there. It happened. And then WCW, they made a decision they were going to give away the results. At that point in time, it's reported about 600,000 people turned the channel to watch that. And keep in mind, WCW had, 86 weeks with the lead in the more viewers. So the ratings, I guess they said. Then about 600,000 people turned then to watch that, which was, there's not a more lovable character in the history of professional wrestling than Mick Foley. He's the ultimate underdog. He's the ultimate person you get behind. I don't know who else could be more Mick Foley. So when that episode finishes up, a lot of them flip it back to the finger poke of doom, as it's called. This big payoff match with Hogan and Nash, the different sides of the NWO colliding. We're going to get a end to this storyline, and the end is that Hogan pokes Nash, takes a bump, and lets him pin him.
Yep.
And from that point on, WWF led the ratings.
We was back to getting beat. Yeah, that was a big thing. I remember when they went live with the results. No, we're watching it. Like we watched it live, listening, watching the show from the monitors in the back and everything, and watching everything that's going on. You go, what the hell, So what do we do in the back? We go and turn it on.
What did people think in the back after that happened?
Well, I think at that time the mindset was that WCW was smarter. WCW was going to do more things. So I think it was internally, I think they thought it was the greatest thing ever. We're going to give it away.
But really, you just gave them a reason to turn the channel.
Right. Looking back on it, I think it's like one of those, like an impulse decision. Let's do this, and then not really thinking it all the way through.
What a crazy decision that was. And what about Mick Foley, though, dude?
Let me ask you this. Let me stir the pot so many years later.
Sure.
Why couldn't Mick Foley beat The Rock clean?
I always looked at it like it was because he was constantly getting screwed. So Austin, part of the story was Austin's going to stick it to McMahon.
Right.
And the other half of the story was I just level the playing field, I guess. But I see your point.
But so I want to tie that back into our conversation prior to that question. Because look how we were thinking, we being WCW. We're giving away Mick Foley becomes World Heavyweight Champion when the biggest part of the story is what happened outside the ring and who came in the ring. But we weren't thinking that way then, right? The business was different. So if you were going to give it away, you would have gave all that away, how it happened. So I think, and that's, again, sitting here, armchair quarterback 20-something years later. But that's how we're thought, like, okay, we'll beat you to the punch. We'll tell you the champion, you ain't got to watch it. But you did it with, to your point, the biggest babyface, biggest fan favorite in the world. And
is there more of a lovable guy than him as a character ever?
Say it again?
Is there a more lovable kind of guy that you can get attached to?
No. He was gold. Mick was gold. Mick is gold. But
risky decision knowing that people were bouncing back and towards the programming.
Yeah.
And of course, there were diehards on each side, right? But there were people watching both, myself included.
People were switching over becoming fans of WCW or switching over becoming fans of WWF. But it definitely was, that numbers game was huge.
What a change in pace, man. What a big moment. That rock bottom at the announce table was brutal, by the way. It just went completely down, didn't it? Oh, man. Those guys. Not the prettiest match ever, that match either. Let me tell you that.
Oh, yeah. But that was the beauty of it.
Yeah. So what did I forget? That was a big thing. I couldn't not play that.
that I actually thought you weren't going to play The Rock, the WCW giving it away. So that was good. Yay!
Put some butts in the seats. I think Tony Schiavone still claims that was fed to him, but everybody else says, no, that wasn't fed.
I think
don't really matters, though, when you gave the results away.
Yeah, he's very humble.
What did you guys think afterwards, though, before we wrap it up? That's what I'm like.
Well,
when you hear about the end result of what happened with the ratings,
I think it's
the Homer Simpson moment, or
no? I don't think anybody was really. It wasn't a ratings thing. We knew we were losing at. We were losing the game. Well,
yeah, and I do agree with Eric Bischoff. That wasn't the end. There was a lot of things that went into what happened.
Yeah, but for those who thought that way, a lot of people could care less either way because they were good, and some, but I think a lot of it was you were so in tune to listening how everybody else was excited about what was going to happen that I think naturally you just became excited and watched it happen, and then you kind of got, let down, and you went, oh, well.
Just think about that. We went from that 2 year and 1 day from that Sting moment to that day that we just talked about.
Yeah.
What a big change.
And it seemed like a lot longer than the end result seemed like a lot longer than what it was. I was there just about 7 years. And to me, in my mind, it was a 5-year jigsaw puzzle.
Man, well, that comes to the conclusion of this episode. That was a fun ending as always. On this day in pro wrestling history, put those videos up daily all across social media. So look for On This Day in Pro Wrestling History.
I'm a big fan of that. I told you that. I'm a big fan. I told you I look forward to it. I watch the Instagram posts and I go, okay, so that takes me out of my day, but it's something I look forward to saying, okay, let's see where he's at today. So.
It's evident to me that not everybody is such a deep involved in the past of wrestling. You have the people that like to post stupid things. Like I posted this one where Kevin Nash and CM Punk storyline when LA Knight was security guard.
Right.
And somebody said, "This is your first time watching wrestling knowing they use extras for security?" I'm like, no, dude, it's not. In fact, I'm just sharing it with others. And so many people are like, I did not know that. That is so cool.
It's just so
That's why I'm sharing it, man. Not because I didn't know they use independent wrestlers.
They got to be smarter than you. They got to be a bigger fan than you and a historian and knock what you're doing. Like I thought it was, I didn't know that.
It's a cool moment.
I was one of those guys, I didn't know that. So you watch and go, son of a thing.
Yeah, LA Knight. He's everywhere now. Anyways, man, Bill DeMott Experience is everywhere too. It's growing. So you get some new YouTube subscribers. The live viewership of this show has gone significantly up.
Yes.
Last week we had over 1,000 views live, which is a lot for live. And it just continues to grow, man. So we are approaching a year. We're a month away from a year. It's just crazy to think about how it's kind of morphed over time and kind of like learn, and we kind of continue to try to adapt.
Yeah. First of all, I'm going to have balloons in the mansion on that day when we do that episode. I'm going to put balloons all over the mansion.
It started with the dog in the background in the cage.
Well, I may have to have him make another return appearance with a balloon on his head or something.
The dog fight in the first episode in the cage.
Oh, my gosh.
The TV on in the background on TLC or something. I don't know what it was on. Renovating houses in the background.
Oh, man. No, this has been exciting, man. It's really cool to now, because we tell everybody, hey, link up with us on social media and Twitter and stuff like that. And now everybody's watching it live, but now we're starting to connect with everybody. And I think it's cool that it's building to this. It's a lot of fun and it's a great start to the new year. So happy New Year to everybody who's tuning in, and you just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I encourage everybody to join us live on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. The episode usually drops the following week on Wednesday. But again, it's hard to get past the live experience of it. It's fun watching it live, watching the reaction here, then seeing people's reaction. Obviously, and I apologize to everybody, I get so many different things sent this way. A lot of them are just one-word things or, like stuff that really can't be shown. But I see you all, people saying hi to us. I see it all. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody joining us live. BillDeMott.com houses everything of ours.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to keep doing this and going live and getting our content out as much as we can.
Awesome, man. Everybody keep tuning in. Jeff, thank you again. Great episode. I look forward to next week.
I do too, man. I will let you and I encourage everybody to go to BillDeMott.com and link up to JeffT-shirts.com and get the Bill DeMott Experience t-shirt. proceeds go to the foundation, and it has your quote on there, man.
Yes, yes. Do what you say what you mean what you do.
And of course, I'm not that cool. I just keep it simple. I say, keep being you and keep being great.